I'm going to show you how to make a podcast using Aviary. So you can get to Aviary through your Google Docs. If you go up to More, there's Aviary. There's a bunch of other things you can do with Aviary also. We're just going to focus on podcasts right now. So you go down here to Mix a Podcast. Make it full screen. There are a bunch of things that you can do with this program. You could upload music, sing along to it if you want. You can put new words to songs, whatever you want. So anyway, so here we go. So this is, you can have a bunch of different tracks. I would just say, for basic purposes, I would just use track 1 and track 2. And track 1 is going to be what you're saying. Track 2 will be what you can add music-wise. So first thing you want to do is hit record. Make sure you obviously have a microphone. And this is going to pop up, and you want to say allow. And then just make sure that your equipment is working prior, and you'll know that it's working if you see this green bar move up and down. So we know that mine is working. Well, because one, you can hear me, and you can see that bar. So anyway, so then you just press here, and you just start talking, and it could be whatever. My students use books to do their podcasts, and they also, we did one about nouns. You can really do anything with a podcast. So then once you've recorded that, you stop, and then you're going to say import to project. And then you're going to title it. I have my students title them by number so that when they are putting them into their podcast, they just have to go by that number. So we'll just do number 1. So then it comes over here. So let's say that they have a lot more to do, or they're reading more pages. Then you just come back to record. Hit record again. Blah, 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 blah. And then, oops, stop. And then import to project. And then do that one as 2. And it's going to show up over here. And there's a little star, which shows you that you have not put that in your podcast yet. So when you want to put it in your podcast, all you have to do is drag it over. One thing I would suggest, have it zoomed out as much as possible. It's just going to be a lot easier to work with. And I have my students do that too. That's good. And so then you see that the star went away, so you know that you used it. So if you do accidentally name something the same thing, if you have 2 2s, you'll know that you've only put one of them in. And then obviously there's a little trash can, so if you recorded something and then you decide that's not what you wanted, you just hit the little trash can and it can go away. So then you drag your 2 over here. This is probably going to be the worst podcast ever, but I'm just showing you. So here are your vocal tracks. So if you want to add music, you can add your own music by clicking library. Or imported just means that you can download or upload, whatever, put in your own music. So anywho, we're just going to use what they have, and I would suggest just using what they have because there is a lot. So you just click whatever one you want, and the kid one is pretty good. So Kids Corner, and then there's all kinds of different things within that. So then each category has intros, loops, and ends. And so obviously you want to use your intros at the beginning and then your loops, and so then you can just press play to hear it. Oh yeah, I love that song. So I'm going to use that. So I'm just going to drag it up to track 2. So it's just layering it now. So I have what I said, and then I have my music. And so then maybe I want to add a loop in there. That one's fine. So I'm going to add my loop here. And the cool thing about this is that when you click a category, so like all aboard, all of them are going to have a similar sound. So they're all going to go together. So you are going to have consistency. Okay, so then now I want my end. So I can just pick. That's crazy enough. So let's put it here. Let's say, okay, well, I have a little bit left over. All I do is just move my little arrow over, and it's just going to repeat. So now I can listen to my podcast, which is going to be horrible, but we'll listen anyway. Okay, so you can hear that the music is a lot louder than the vocals. So here's the simple way to fix that. I would get rid of the library so that you can see a little bit more. You're going to want to go to Auto and then Gain, and Gain is just another word for volume, and your gain line is the yellow. So if you want to turn your voice up, you just move that up, and then you can even turn your gain on for your music, and you want to move that down. Now, if there is a part, this is getting really tricky, but if there is a part that, let's say that you were really loud in one part and then really soft in one part, and it was all in one recording, you just hit to get another little dot, and then you can move that up and down. And then hit another dot to go down. You can have as many dots as you want. It gets a little bit nuts then, but there you have it. So yeah, there's your podcast. When you're done, you're going to go to Save As, give it a title. I'm just going to go with Test. You can give it a description if you want. You can tag it. Don't worry about tagging it. That just means that other people can, if they are looking for something, they can look in your tags. So then save as new creation, and then once it's done saving, it's going to ask you to mix it down, and that just kind of fine-tunes it for you. So once you've mixed it down, this might take a few moments. I'll go ahead and mix it down, and then I'll show you what you can do. Personally, I would download this as an MP3, and then if you want to make a podcast that you can publish, you want to get an account with Podomatic. But if you come over here, there's a bunch of different things you can do. You can embed it. This is your editor for Aviary, so that if you want other people to edit it, then just some other embed codes. Simplest way is to come over here and download the MP3. And obviously it's going to ask you if you're sure. Then you want to go, I made a podcast within my music. And then you just save it, and it's going to download right to there as an MP3. And then when you go to Podomatic, you're going to want to sign up, and it's free, and you can have a bunch of different podcasts on there. Once you sign up, you're going to just go to New Episode, and then put in a title, Test, and then a description, whatever you want to do. And then you're just going to go through the steps. So if you look up here, it's now going to take us to our audio video. So you're going to upload a file. Make sure that it's not, that your pop-ups are not blocked, because if it is, then this isn't going to come up. So then you're going to select your file. So it should be right where you had it. So in your podcast or whatever you've decided to do it as, you're just going to open. It's going to upload. And then you're going to say, I'm finished. Then you can upload a photo. So what I do for my students is if they're doing a story, I get the story title page. I save that from a Google search and put that as the photo, but we're not, well, I guess I could show you. We'll just put a random picture up. So let's just do this one. Save and continue. Then it's going to go to tags, and like I said before, that picture was too large. You gotta make sure the pictures are small. I know I have one that's small. I think this one I made smaller. Let's see if it works. Just make sure that the picture's small. If you get it from the internet, it usually is. So then your tags could be whatever it is. So it could be nouns, or you could just put education, and then save and continue. And then it's going to review it, and then that's where you can publish it. And then once you publish it, it's going to take you through a bunch of steps on how you can share it. If you want to embed it in your website, if you want to share the link, if you want to email it to people, it is going to do that for you. So there you have it, folks. Hopefully you will start using Aviary for your podcasting.